Good day, folks. So I'm going to do a quick recording here in regards to what Brighton asked in the group. Brighton asked me to do a short tutorial regarding bullish and bearish order blocks. Right, so in a nutshell, right, we do have those two, the premium array in the form of a bearish order block, and then a discount array in the form of a bullish order block. So in general, in layman's terms, right, a bullish order block is where you hunt for long opportunities, and a bearish order block is where you hunt for short opportunities. There's basically two types, say, of bearish order blocks that I look for personally. I'm not saying that is what is out there. I'm going to talk about my own understanding and what I use on a daily basis. So when you talk of a bearish order block, there's one which is basically your order block that's not accompanied by a fair value gap, and that type of a order block is not that much of a high probability, especially if it's not near a resistance or a support level, right? But there's going to be an order block that is accompanied with a fair value gap. That one is going to be a high probability, or I classify that as a high probability bearish order block. The better if it is near a support or a resistant level. So what is a bullish order block? Let's start with that. So this is the lowest candle or price bar with a down close that is the most range between the open to the close, and it has to be near a support level. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about saying, if you look at this chart here, we're talking of the last down close candles in that range that I have marked, right? The last down close candles in this range here. So we're talking of, say, 1 and 2. You see those candles that I'm highlighting? Those are the candles that I'm referring to in terms of bullish order block, and you can see they are all near a support level. How do you validate a candle to be an order block, right? So when the high of the lowest down close candle or price bar is traded through by a later formed candle, and this later formed candle has to be bullish, right? It has to be a bullish candle, right? So you can see the ones that I'm highlighting there, right? Those are all bullish candles that have traded through the last down close candle. Even here, trades through and then price moves up. Yeah, this one is also has also traded through, but only on the next lower time frame. That's when you can classify the last down close candle in this range as your bullish order block, right? And then the next one, right? The next one is your bearish order block, right? I'm going to give you examples. I'm just defining the two. Your bearish order block is the highest candle or price bar with an up close that is the most range between open to close and is near a resistant level. So this is what this is US dollar index. So I'm just going to go to Euro USD on the monthly chart, and we talk of the last up close candle, and remember it has to have the most range between open to close and is near a resistant level. So we're talking of 1, we're talking of 2, we're talking of 3, right? I'm just picking random OBs here, right? But remember, you can always dig deeper into this range here when you go on to a lower time frame, when you're looking for opportunities, you go on to a lower time frame. But if you are someone who does long-term trades, you look at this monthly candle, and then when you enter that position, you're going to hold that position for a month or 2 or 3 months, right? Because you'll be basing it on a monthly chart. So the validation of a bearish order block is that when the low of the highest up close candle is traded through by a later formed candle, this later formed candle has to be bearish. Like if you look at this candle here, it traded through the last up close candle, price came back, right? And then we've got this one here, it traded through and then price went to the downside. If you look at this candle here, right, this bearish candle here, it trades through the open to close of the last up close candle. That defines that validates your bearish order block, right? So yeah, I don't want this video to take too much of your time. I'm just gonna go straight to the points that you need to know. If you don't understand properly, then you need to send me a message privately on the group, then I can elaborate further on any questions that you might have, right? So let's go back to our bearish order blocks, right? So on this monthly chart, this is dollar index, right? When you scan through, right, when you are looking at your platform or your trading platform, whichever one you use, whether it's TradingView, whether it's MT5 or MT4, you're going to be presented with candles, right? And these candles, they're going to tell you a story of what's happening, right? And depending on the bias that you have, we're not going to go into detail on how to define bias. What is it that you look for? We're just going to go straight to the order blocks, right? So for instance, we've got this last down close candle here, right? Now we can argue that market was bullish, but remember, that's when you get new levels of demand, you get original levels of demand being formed, right? So now if you look at this, I've just grabbed my rectangle tool and extended the rectangle all the way into the future. So you'll be anticipating for price to come back into this level here, preferably equilibrium. That's where you're going to be hunting for shorting opportunities. That is on the lower time frame. I'm on the monthly now. If I go to a weekly, you see what I'm talking about. So inside this range, you see, inside this range, this way you'd have been hunting for long opportunities. Now you can see the gray shaded area, that's my monthly, on my monthly chart. But if you look on the weekly chart, these two down close candle here, they form this candle here, you see, on the monthly chart. Let me go to a lower, let's see, let me go to Euro USD, then I go to a lower time frame. I just want to see if I have, I'm just gonna pick random charts, guys, for me to really explain to you guys. So you can see now we're on pound USD. I'm just looking for bullish order blocks right now. Last down close candle. Now this is on the weekly chart, right? That's on the weekly chart. Price traded through, see this candle here, traded through the open to the close. Price trades through, and then the following week there was a rally to the upside. This is not a high probability OB, right? Because it's not accompanied by a fair value gap. But if you look at this one here, you see, this is our last down close candle before this rally, right? It's accompanied by a fair value gap right there. You see, that's a fair value gap. That makes this level a high probability, and it's also in conjunction now with the bias that we have, say, on pound USD, because we are bullish on pound USD. So you'll be anticipating when price comes to this level here, most preferably the equilibrium point of either the fair value gap or the OB itself, right at the equilibrium point. That's where you hunt for long opportunities. I'm not going to go into detail with fair value gaps, but you can see what happened here. You see, we had this fair value gap right here, right there, and the equilibrium point right there, and you can see price found support. We're discussing order blocks. So this is just a normal bullish order block. Price did come to it, but it didn't really touch it by much. It missed by maybe probably 1 pip or 2 pips, and then it rallied. At this down close candle, price hasn't returned to that level. Now if you go back to your supply and demand notes, you're gonna see that this is your original level of demand, right? Price hasn't come back to retest that level. Let's go to Aussie dollar, right? Aussie dollar, you can see we've got a bullish order block right there, right? This should have been stopped out because it traded through the last down close candles week. See, lowest price it traded through, right? It would have been a loss. And then you've got this one here, right? These two order blocks that I've marked, this one and this one here, they are all not high probability because they're not accompanied by a fair value gap. Let's go to NZD USD. Same applies. Remember, I'm on a weekly chart, right? I'm on a weekly chart. If I go to a monthly chart, you see a different scenario, right? Let's do this. Zoom in. You see, this is a bullish order block, right? And this is what NZD USD is in conjunction with the bias that we have. Now let me get rid of this. Okay. Prior to that, right there, this is a bullish order block. Now this is on a monthly chart. You see, this is October 2023. This one was a high probability because it was accompanied by a fair value gap. You can see right here we've got a fair value gap. So price traded through, comes right to the equilibrium point, found support, and then market rallied, comes back for the second time. It was trading now into this bullish order block right here. You see, price came back to that level. So you can see this month it wasn't much of a difficult thing to understand that Aussie dollar, pound USD, NZD USD and Euro USD, they're going to find support and rally to the upside. Remember, we are bearish on dollar. So understanding that you've got a bullish order block on Aussie dollar and your bias on dollar is bearish, this level will be a high probability level for price to find support before it rallies to the upside. You see, so that's for bearish order blocks, right? Let me see if I can get you another example of a high probability bearish OB, one that is accompanied by a fair value gap. Let me go to the same, like on a lower time frame. You see, this one is high probability. We've already picked that up. Okay, let's go to NZD USD. Right, you see, on NZD USD, you can see this one here. This is our last down close candle. It's the only one that's on the daily, right? This is for most probably for next week, right? You'll be hunting for long opportunities in that level, and then you've got your fair value gap. You have your fair value gap. I think I did mark and share this on the group, right? So you can see we've got a fair value gap right here. So this will be a level that you monitor for price to come inside this level. The better if it trades into an OB. That's a high probability, right? If you see price trading through the fair value gap, most probably it's running stops. You see, we've got internal range liquidity here. It's running stop hunts, right? Stop hunts for people who go in early on their longs. They're going to put their stops right there. That's liquidity for the market. So once you have, say, a high probability OB like this one here, this is your bullish order block. It's a high probability. Once price comes closer to the equilibrium point, or it touches the OB, all you have to do is go to the calendar. Like for now, if I go to next week's calendar, right, Monday is out of the question. So this is NZD USD. So I'll be looking for high impact USD news and high impact NZD news. So you can see there on Tuesday we've got manufacturing PMIs, right? That's on Tuesday, and the ISM manufacturing PMIs. So since it's Tuesday, Monday there isn't much. We've got PMIs from Europe. Yeah, that could probably move the markets, but I don't know in which direction. That's where you have to wait now. So if those PMIs from the United States comes out negative, right, and price has approached this bullish order block, if the PMIs on Tuesday for the dollar come out negative and price is inside one of these two areas, fair value gap or the bullish order block, then you're good to go for long opportunities, right? So that's for your bullish order block. Now when we talk of bearish order blocks, right, the opposite applies, right? So you're now looking for candles that are near a resistant level, right? So for instance, we're talking of the last up close candle before a move to the downside, right? And the move to the downside is not just your normal move. Remember, you need to see like a proper expansion, right? You need to see a proper expansion, right? And you can see this is just the last up close candle before this move to the downside, and you can see how price reacted when it traded back to that level, right? So let's see, let's go to UJ, right? I'm going to go to UJ. This is what weekly. Let's go to monthly because there's a setup that I'm monitoring here, right? This should make it much clear. This is our last up close candle, right? Now this last up close candle is not near any, yeah, we've got a resistant level right there. You see, it is near a resistant level. It is near a resistant level. So this is self-explanatory, right? Self-explanatory. So this is your high probability bearish order block. It's a high probability bearish order block. You see? Because it's accompanied by a fair value gap. Let me look at also USD CHF and see if we have one. You see here, right here, this last up close candle before that sustained move to the downside, right? See, this is a what? A high probability bearish order block. So it doesn't take much to define these levels, right? You can see I'm on a monthly chart, but so far July, we need the close of August, right? Once August close, then this will be your high probability. Let's say August close where it is right now, that will be a what? A high probability bearish order block. You see, so it's very easy to define these sort of arrays, bearish and bullish order blocks. So I hope I have explained a bit so that you can understand how you can define your your bullish and your bearish order block. You see, for instance, like the one that I've highlighted, you can go to the next lower time frame. You see, on the next lower time frame, look at this. This is your next lower time frame. You see, that's your next lower time frame, and you've got your weekly bearish order block, and it's a high probability. You see, it's a high probability bearish OB because it's accompanied by a fair value gap. So you just be waiting for price to come into this level, and then you are now looking for a catalyst, something that's gonna have an impact in terms of movement, something that's gonna provide movement that comes in the form of fundamentals. See, it comes in the form of fundamentals. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to explain to you guys in relation to bullish and bearish order blocks. I'll try to go again further in the next video if I get a setup that is going to validate an OB as an entry point. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for today, folks. I wish you all the best in your trading, and good luck, folks. Thank you.